Hello, my friends. I'm John, your carnivore teacher, wearing my hat today just for a change of pace, so I look a little different in some of my videos. We're going to talk hormesis today. Why a little bit of poison isn't nutrition. So one of the most misunderstood ideas in the world of nutrition and health is hormesis. It's the concept that a small dose of stress or toxin can trigger a beneficial adaptive response in the body. In simple terms, a little stress makes you stronger. Sounds good, right? The problem is people have started using this idea to justify eating plant toxins, claiming that because small amounts can trigger mild stress, they must somehow be good for you. And that's where everything goes off the rails. So let's talk about what hormesis really is. Hormesis is a dose-response relationship, meaning the body's reaction to a substance or stressor changes depending on how much you're exposed to. In biology, it's shaped like a J curve or a U curve. At very low doses, you might get mild stress that triggers an adaptive or beneficial response. At moderate or high doses, the same compound becomes harmful and even deadly. Classic examples of controlled hormesis include exercise. Muscle fibers are damaged slightly, then rebuilt stronger. Cold or heat exposure triggers mitochondria and circulation adaptations. Fasting, a brief stress that improves metabolic flexibility. These are controlled, measurable, and self-limiting forms of hormesis. But chemical hormesis, like the kind people claim from plant toxins, is not controlled. It's not measurable, and it's not safe across individuals. Now, the plant hormesis myth. You've probably heard people say broccoli has sulforaphane. It's a hormetic stress that activates your detox pathways. Or polyphenols and plant antioxidants are mild stressors that make your cells stronger. That's the hormesis argument used by plant-based advocates. But it's a dangerous oversimplification. Here's the truth. Yes, some plant compounds like sulforaphane, resveratrol, and curcumin do trigger the NRF2 pathway, which activates detox enzymes in your liver. That's true. But those same compounds also damage your DNA. They bind to proteins. They disrupt your thyroid and your mitochondrial function at higher doses. And the difference between low and high is not well defined. There's no standardized dosage, no safety threshold, no universal benefit. The hormetic zone is uncontrolled. It varies from person to person depending on genetics, nutrient status, liver health, and existing toxin burden. So while one person might tolerate a little sulforaphane, another might experience joint pain, fatigue, or thyroid suppression from the exact same dose. That's not medicine. That's gambling. So what chemicals, how much, and when is what we're talking about. Let's ask the real questions. What chemicals are we talking about when we say plant hormesis? Things like oxalates, lectins, saponins, phytates, goitrogens, tannins, and glucosinolates, these are toxic defense compounds. How much is safe? No one knows. The studies are all over the map, and most are done in petri dishes or on animals, not humans. How many different ones can you combine? Again, no one knows. People eat salads and smoothies loaded with 20 to 30 plant chemicals at once, each affecting absorption, hormones, and enzyme systems differently, almost like mixing medicines. When do you start? When do you stop? There's no timing or tapering protocol because this isn't a therapy. It's random exposure. In other words, you can't control the dose, the compound, or the response. That's not hormetic precision. That's toxic chaos disguised as wellness. So there's controlled hormesis versus uncontrolled poisoning. Let's make one thing clear. Hormesis is real, but the context matters. Controlled hormetic stressors are fasting, cold exposure, resistance training, sunlight. They're all precise. You can start, you can stop, and you can measure them. Uncontrolled chemical hormesis, eating random plant toxins, is not precise. You don't know the effective dose, your personal threshold, or long-term consequences. You just don't. And unlike exercise or fasting, you can't adapt to poisons indefinitely. Eventually, the body breaks down. That's why people who rely on plant hormesis often end up with gut inflammation, thyroid issues, fatigue, nutrient deficiencies, and oxalate-related problems like kidney stones or joint pain. That's not beneficial stress, people. That's biological damage over time. The real hormetic power comes from nature, not plants. Your body already has hormetic systems built in, and they work best when you stop burdening them. Fasting, strength training, sauna, cold therapy, those trigger hormesis through physical mechanisms, not chemical toxins. They build resilience without depleting minerals, damaging the gut, or impairing your mitochondria. Meanwhile, the nutrients that protect and repair your body, like B12 and carnitine and taurine and zinc and DHA, they come from animal foods, not kale, not broccoli. You don't need to eat plant poisons to activate your detox systems. Your liver already knows what to do when it's not overloaded. So the next time someone says plants are good because of hormesis, remember, hormesis only works when the stress is measured, controlled, and recoverable. Plant toxins don't meet any of those conditions. You can't dose them, you can't time them, you can't control them, and you certainly can't call them nutrients. Here's the takeaway. Hormesis is not a free pass to eat poison. A stressor that's unpredictable, unmeasured, and unregulated doesn't make you stronger. It makes you weaker over time. If you want the benefits of hormesis, lift weights, fast, sweat, jump in cold water. Those are natural, self-regulating stressors that build resilience without damaging your biology. But don't mistake chemical stress for health. Your ancestors didn't call kale therapy. They avoided it and thrived. Real health doesn't come from fighting your food. It comes from eating what your body recognizes as fuel, not what it has to detoxify. If you found that helpful, give it a hats off. Subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up. Share this video with friends and family, and leave me a question, a comment, a suggestion, and I will write you back. Thank you for watching. Have a really good day.